Atlanta's... Oh, we're not going to go there. We're going to go to the West Coast, where Kawhi, James Harden, and the Clippers take on Jokic and the Nuggets in Denver for their first-round matchup starting Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Also on Saturday, the other LA squad, LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers, host Anthony Edwards and the Wolves at 8:30 Eastern on ABC. Wendy, which is the more intriguing LA series?
I'm fascinated by this Clippers team. And I know that we're supposed to be all Lakers, but I'm fascinated by the Clippers. They finished the season 18-3, and I'm just gonna take a diversion here real quick because I should be talking about Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, who, by the way, I had James Harden on my All-NBA ballot yesterday, which I didn't foresee at the start of the season.
Right.
I want to speak a minute about our former colleague here at ESPN, Jeff Van Gundy. Jeff Van Gundy's he's assistant with the Clippers at Ty Lue. Okay, Jeff Van Gundy last year was a consultant with the Boston Celtics. Joe Mazzulla will tell you how big of a role he played in them getting to that championship. He comes in this year as the defensive lead assistant here for this Clippers team.
Yes, he did.
And Clippers player after Clippers player that I've talked to this year, Norman Powell, James Harden, Vitsa Zubac, they all are talking about the impact that Jeff Van Gundy has had on this team and how the big of a role he's had in lifting them up. And yet there's all these job openings, and I have yet to hear Jeff Van Gundy's name. So I'm just going to remind the league that while you're looking at how well this Clippers team is doing, don't forget about Jeff Van Gundy. All right, that's my pitch. He didn't ask for it. He wouldn't want me to say it. Just remember Jeff Van Gundy. The other thing I'm going to say, Kawhi Leonard, the last 2 years hasn't been able to finish the first round. Okay? So I am not going to sit here and tell you that I know what's going to happen. But I do know that Kawhi Leonard has not looked like this in the playoffs since 2019. Shooting the ball like this. And while I recognize that we have Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets also have the home court advantage, I am fascinated to see if Kawhi can keep going this way. And if that's the case, this Clippers team has no ceiling.
Well, I want to say a couple of things. Number one, I completely 1,000% echo your sentiments about Jeff Van Gundy. He's a head coach in this league. He deserves to be a head coach in this league. He's an exceptional coach, all right, and a great basketball mind. And Ty Lue can't stop raving about the job that he has done in Los Angeles, helping him and helping that Clippers defense. That's number one. But I ain't mentioning Jeff Van Gundy without mentioning my man Mark Jackson, who everybody's forgotten about, who should be a head coach in this league. All right, and it's a damn shame that somehow, some way, that has not happened in over a decade. Having said that, the interesting answer to this question to me is the Lakers against Minnesota, and here is the reason why. I love stars, man, and I ain't thinking about Luka and LeBron. I know what they're going to bring. I know what Anthony Edwards is going to bring, too. But what can he bring? The operative word is can. I think that in this series, with Minnesota being the underdog, clearly being counted out by most of the basketball world, because we saw what Luka did in the Western Conference Finals to the Minnesota Timberwolves last year, and that's when he was a Dallas Maverick. And now you got LeBron James as your teammate. As far as I'm concerned, everybody's counted Minnesota out. You see the kind of attitude Ant-Man plays with? I mean, and that's when he's a favorite. I mean, when you count this brother out, he elevates. And I believe that's what he is going to do in this series. Whatever we've seen from Anthony Davis in the past, I believe, Doggy, he is going to eclipse that in this series. Will it be enough to beat the Lakers? No. But I believe he's going to push this to likely a 6-game series, maybe even a 7-game series, because I believe that Ant-Man, who can be Jordan-esque at times, is going to show up and show out. Anthony Davis, y'all better get y'all popcorn ready. The Ant-Man is coming, and I think he's going to be sensational. That's why I'm interested in that series.
I will three-peat what these two said about Van Gundy. Remember, my old radio partner and I were shocked when Dave Checketts, when Riley left, brought in Don Nelson and did not promote Van Gundy as his head coach. What happens 40 games into the season? They fire Don Nelson, and what do? They bring in Jeff Van Gundy. So, and he was a great analyst. Let's not forget that, too. He was great on TV. Not good. Not good. Great. Funny. Great. But I'm with Wendy on the scenario with the series. I love the Clippers series, too, with Denver. The Clippers are only a slight underdog in this series. They're plus 120. Minnesota's plus 155. So that tells you that that's a dead even series. And I'm with Wendy. I think they can win. Now, listen, this is me, and I'm sure we're going to get to this later. I don't trust Harden. All right, Harden, I know he's had a great year, 39 points on Sunday. I never trust him. When the chips are on the line, I never trust him. And there'll be a scenario here in a Game 7 against Denver where you're going to need him to score 40 points and dominate the game, and he'll shoot 5 for 30, and they'll lose. So he worries me, and also the health of Leonard, who's always banged up. That worries me. But if Harden, plays like he can play and Leonard stays healthy, and I think this Denver coaching situation is going to play into this a little bit, and we all know Lou's a great coach. I'm with Brian hit right in the head. I'm with him. I think the Clippers are going to win. And Denver did not finish the season well. I know they won their last 3 games. Who cares? I love the Clippers in this series. I'm going to take them too. I think Wendy hit it right on the head, Stevie.
Stephen A., do you trust Harden to show up?
Yes. The word trust is too strong, but I believe Harden is going to show up in this series. And I believe the James Harden that you've seen of the past, that was a model of inconsistency, had a lot of bad moments in the playoffs, had moments where people felt he gave up, had other moments that were pretty good. I think the good part of James Harden shows up. He's got a team around him. He's got Kawhi Leonard looking better than he's looked in the last 5 or 6 years. He has an exceptional coach, an exceptional coaching staff, an exceptional defense behind him. I think James Harden shows up in this series, and I definitely think that the Clippers beat Denver because Denver's lack of depth, along with the new coach, I think those are the kind of things that count against him. It's just that with Zubac, as impressive as he's been, and he has been impressive, and he deserves a lot of credit, it ends now. You're going up against the Joker, Jokic. It's a different animal now. All that stuff that we've been saying about Zubac is nice. Humility is en route.
So you could argue, Dog, that James Harden has the most to prove out of any single player in this postseason. I mean, you could make cases for other guys. Luka, hasn't won. Donovan Mitchell has got to prove that, he can take a top seed and actually take him to the conference finals or deeper because he hasn't done that in the past. Not only is James Harden sort of in the last stages of, he's still in his prime, but he's in his mid-30s. He's a free agent. And he's taken pay cuts several times over. He's going to prove that he's going to get paid like these other guys. He's got to do it now.
Let's stop this. James Harden doesn't need to prove he deserves to get paid. He's proven it. We have to give credit where credit is due. He's proven that. He deserves his bag. Major props to the Clippers organization. A lot of people felt, why don't you keep Paul George? Why don't you let go of Kawhi? You can't rely on his health anyway. That's how I was thinking. You can't trust Kawhi Leonard's health. I'll believe it when I see it. They believed in Harden, and he's delivered. They saw something in him a lot of people did not see. And a major props to the organization, and definitely props to him. He needs to show up in the playoffs. Please don't get me wrong. But in terms of, all right, for the next few years, whatever the bag is, does he deserve it? Yes, he does.
He's had this strange thing happen.
First, let's get through Saturday, guys. Let's get through Saturday. We got the early game, the 3:30 game's on ESPN. The later game is on ABC. Stephen A., I know you'll be a part of that coverage. You as Wendy as well. So we can't wait seeing those LA squads in action. When we come back on First Take, Mavericks GM Nico